Hey YouTube family. Okay, I apologize if you're seeing a couple of different videos right now, or few, because I try not to get on and make a video unless I have something productive to share with you guys. Likewise, sometimes I get a whole lot of stuff at once that's coming that I want to share, or that I feel led to share, that you can maybe take something from. So, I was at Chick-fil-A yesterday, and the radio station that I listened to, which is one of the radio stations, his radio, in the afternoons around 5, after 5, they have a segment where people can call in with prayer requests. For those of you who want to get, y'all know by now, I'm Christian, and a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is faith-based. No desire to offend you by talking or sharing my beliefs. So if you're uncomfortable, feel free to click off. Still love you. But, even outside of the Christian element, just faith in general, we all need to have a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith. So if you want to at least hear a feel-good kind of story, stick with me, okay? So on the show last night, a young lady called in, and, you could hear the tears that she was shedding. You could hear the crying in her voice. And her prayer was simple. She would be graduating in a few hours, and she wanted her father to be able to see and understand that she was graduating, because he had Alzheimer's. And I don't know, maybe if any of you have ever had such an experience where you're dealing with somebody who has some sort of cognitive disorder. But it can be, if you've dealt with that, how frustrating it can be. And sometimes just to see them respond sort of in a normal way can be so like, oh wow, like she remembered who I was. I personally, my grandmother dealt with dementia / Alzheimer's, and a lot of times, my name was Joyce or my name was Sis or somebody else, because maybe sometimes she never got to the point where she's like, who are you, get away from me, like some people do get to that extreme, but very rarely was I Rakita. So this young lady, she sent out that prayer request, and of course I was really touched by it, because knowing how it is to be in that situation. But anyway, so coming back home today, and it just so happened that I went, got my scalp cleaned up. Took a little longer than I thought it would take, because obviously we're in there chatting it up and videoing and all kind of stuff. But I just happened to begin to hear the update of this young lady's story right before I turned onto my road to get home. So a few minutes later, and I would have missed it, possibly a few minutes earlier, I would have missed it anyway. So she called back in to let everybody know what happened, and she said that as they were getting ready for the graduation, as a lot of people with Alzheimer's, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, some forms of autism, different deficits, people, they're frustrated about having to change their location or to be out of a familiar area, and going places. Sometimes they're frustrated about that. Dealing with people, sometimes they're frustrated about that, because they don't know who you are, they don't know what you're trying to do, they don't know what's going on, whatever the case may be. So he was frustrated, he was anxious, he was saying, I don't want to go anywhere, just leave me alone, blah blah blah. But they finally got him ready to go, and sort of in the nick of time, they got it to the graduation, and she was so elated. She was saying that once her name was called and she began to walk across the stage, she said that he began, they said he began to cry, and she could see him blowing her kisses and being excited. So, and he was like, oh, because he had always said he wanted to see his baby girl graduate. And that was her prayer. And definitely the Lord not only answered it, but went above and beyond. Because when everything was over and he was still excited, he was still present enough of mind to be, excited about it. And he knew what had taken place. And so she figured by now he must be tired, drained, and ready to go back home. And she asked him if he was ready to go home. And he said, why would we go home? We need to celebrate. So I just wanted to share that because I was personally touched by that. And just for anybody, even if you're not dealing with a situation like that, it's just a hopeful glance that you can just store away, tuck away, and know that God does answer prayers. He does care about you and what you're going through and what you desire from him. There's an old song, and of course it's in the Bible. He may not always come exactly when you want him. The things that you want to do, sometimes it doesn't work out. But he's always on time. When you need him, he's right there. So I encourage you guys today, Christian or non-Christian, whatever your faith or beliefs is, have hope. At the very least, if you don't necessarily believe in God and you don't have faith in the power of God, the least you can do is continue to be hopeful in your spirit. Be hopeful within yourself, not in yourself, because you only have so much power, but just remain hopeful that positive and good things can indeed happen. And I say God does it. If you don't believe that, that's fine, but we love you anyway. And just continue to be positive and share that love, and continue to be of good courage no matter what situation you're in, because he may not come exactly when you want him, but trust and believe he's always on time. Y'all have a great day. Sorry that was so long. Bye.